Well, I just wanted to come on live real quick, kind of unannounced, just to share a couple things with you. I was working on the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint, which is a add-on to the Sexpionage course. If you pre-register for Sexpionage, you can get the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint for free. And I'll tell you why it's a good thing. It's kind of related to the topic here, which is fumbling on your dates and fumbling with women that you are attracted to. Now, at this point, I've probably it's definitely coached thousands of men at this point, not just in mindset and releasing trauma and mental health, but also in dating and their relationships. And a common trend that I saw with mistakes that guys made that would cause them to fumble, do something goofy, wrong, or unattractive, and cause them to fail either on the pickup in the first meet or on the first date or somewhere within the dating process, the first couple of encounters where guys would fumble. Well, there's a number of things they would do to fumble, right? But it kind of all boiled down to one thing, and that was piss poor planning. You see, you guys, some guys, especially if she's really attractive, you'll get in your heads and you'll get anxious maybe, and you'll start to, or you'll get overconfident, one of those two things, and you'll start to think about all kinds of stuff, what to say next and whatever. You're just thinking of all kinds of BS in your head, and you're maybe thinking of how you're going to seduce her, what you're going to say, or maybe you're thinking, oh, is she a good girl for me, or is she cool, or what is she thinking? You guys get caught up in all that kind of stuff. And then what you forget is logistics, and you forget your planning. I mean, this happens in long-term relationships. I've had coaching sessions with couples and women who have told me, like, the guy will plan a night out and then he doesn't have directions and he didn't figure on construction and they're showing up late, and then he's mad and frustrated because of that. And he's demonstrating that he is incapable as a man based on his behavior, his actions, and the fact that they're sitting in traffic or sitting in construction or late for a venue, or they show up to something, they don't know where to stand, they don't know where to go. They're stuck in a line rather than walking past the line and being on a list someplace. All sorts of things that happened. It could be on a walk or on some sort of camping excursion or vacation, and things get lost or trouble happens or a vehicle breaks down. That's one. In fact, I have a really funny story. I wasn't even going to share it. I didn't even think to share it till just now. The second was when I was a long time ago. It was when I was in high school. I was dating, and I had a truck, and this girl was really into me. And she stopped being into me after our second hangout. Now in high school, I was not good with women. So there's a number of things I could probably list about 10 things I did wrong with this particular person as I could probably list with anybody I had been trying to date in high school. But I mean, this person was really into me. Like she was actually the pursuer in this case for sure. And what happened was my truck broke down, and being kind of a dumb teenager, I think it was maybe 16, I didn't have like all the right tools and all the right stuff to unass my tire. It wasn't a bright breakdown, rather, it was a tire. My tire blew. And I was at her house and her, like, where she lived with her parents and stuff. And she was really into me. And then my tire was blown and all this. And I hadn't really had a lot of it. I didn't grow up with a dad that knew what he's doing, so didn't have a lot of male figures in my life. I had some male role models, nobody had really taught me about how to change a tire or how to have that stuff in your vehicle in case that happens. Like, that was not a conversation at 16, unfortunately, that I had with anybody. That won't be the same with my son, that's for sure. So I have no working, one of my tires are out and I'm pretty clueless on how to change a tire. And this was back, of course, I didn't even have like Google on my phone because this is in the 90s. Now at least you can Google the shit. I was figuring it out and I struggled through. I changed the tire eventually. I figured out where I had a spare, luckily, didn't have any of the right tools. Had to go ask her, have her ask her parents. I wanted to talk to her. I would have asked her parents, but she was like, I'll ask them, and end up using like tools and stuff in the guy's garage and fumbled through changing the tire. And it took me like a pretty long time. It was like not, you should be able to change a tire in like a couple minutes, honestly. All right. If you have the right stuff, you can change a tire in a few minutes. And it was probably a couple hours, embarrassingly, at 16 for me to change this tire. And it just, the whole thing, and I didn't get frustrated or mad. I was at least it was calibrated that way. Some guys will get frustrated, pissed off. At any rate, it just expressed that I didn't know what I was doing. The whole encounter of me blowing a tire out and not having a plan to fix it, and not having logistics set up, not having my stuff set up to be able to solve that problem, created an inconvenience. What was a fun time, and she was wanting to like make out with me and all this stuff, turned into an inconvenience for this girl at 16. It kind of almost embarrassment, like what? And here I am, she just like went. I was like working on my own, figuring out how to change the tire, and she just kind of went up to the house. She didn't even hang out with me while I was doing it. And then, I was like, okay, see you later. And we never saw each other after that, And my point is, it's like, yeah, dude, like I didn't know what I was doing. I demonstrated that I was not capable. And by demonstrating that lack of capability, even though I was only 16, and she was like a year older than me, I think, it was like, I'm good. My God, I thought he was really hot or cute or whatever, and now I'm not interested, right? And I'm sure there were definitely a lot of other things I'm sure I did wrong in that dating encounter, but that was what sealed it, was my lack of capability, which came from lack of planning, which came from a lack of having a strategic plan and my logistics in order. And I looked incapable and unable to change a tire. Reality is I did change it, and that's cool, like, success. But because it took so long, I had to fumble through it, borrow tools, and now, of course, it'll never happen again. But even in your long-term relationship, like you're married 10 years and you just are piss poor at planning, and you don't set up logistics, you don't think ahead, your girl or your wife is going to be unattracted to that. She's going to be turned off. I mean, you can be in a long-term relationship. She's going to be like, this guy doesn't take care of shit. I got to take care of everything. That's what she's going to think. You see, whatever thing you lack as a man, whatever masculine trait you lack as a man, she sees that as something that she now has to make up the difference for. If you can't pack a car, she's like, I got to pack the car. If you can't plan a trip, she's like, I can't plan. I have to plan it because he's too stupid to plan it. You see, like, if you can't plan a date, or if you meet a girl and you do a couple location changes and you guys are making out and she's like, yeah, let's get out of here. She wants to have sex with you, and you don't know where to go and what to do because you never made it that far you're like, you didn't think about, well, my house is 45 minutes away, and she's not really comfortable going to my place and driving that far, and then she doesn't want me to come to her place, and I don't know where hotels are at, and you know what I mean, and you're like, what do I do? And you fumble through that. Guess what? She's not going to be sexually attracted to you anymore. That's what's going to happen. You're going to lose opportunities. But it doesn't just happen to have to be about, okay, a first night lay scenario or a first date lay scenario. It could be just the date in general. Like, oh, where do I go? What do I do? You guys meet, you have that drink on happy hour, and you're hitting it off. What do you do next? Do you freak out and run out of the building because you don't have a plan? You go, yeah, I don't know what to do. What do you think we should do? You see what I mean? Your lack of leadership is killing your game for a lot of you guys. You don't know where to go, what to do next. I'm going to go grab this super chat from T Diamond. I love Paul and your content. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, by the way. I'm happy to catch you live today. Smack that like button in the mouth. Yes, please. Thank you very much. What else do we got? I'm a woman. Yes, you are. And they taught us how to change a tire in driver's ed. I know, they didn't teach me that shit. I saw a tutorial on YouTube of a woman changing a tire with long ass acrylic nails. Maybe she was black and maybe she had superpowers. No, it's pretty easy to change the tire with the right equipment. I was just a dumb kid and I didn't have the right equipment and right stuff. I could do it. I got it done. You know what I mean? But it was like, I just never thought that far ahead. I was 16, first year driving. I'd seen it before, but I never had a dad show me how to change a tire. So or whatever, driver's head, it's so stupid, right? But to your point, yeah. So then even as a 16-year-old kid, it made me look incompetent to this girl, and this girl was done with me. She was like, I'm good. You know what I mean? And so, and I've so many times I mostly coach guys, right? Like I have coaching groups, as you guys know, but and do individual one-on-one consults. But I have coached women and I have coached couples, and that's been a big thing I've noticed with women when they're basically their attraction and desire is completely dried up for the guy that they're with. Big thing that's missing is the guy doesn't have his shit together. He doesn't have a strategic plan when they do stuff. And I'm as ADHD as the next person. I'm terrible with time. I get bogged down with work and different stuff. That happens to me, and it can be very annoying for my girlfriend. But I'm not so incompetent, though, that I don't have stuff in place and that I can't plan ahead. And not to say just incompetent, because not even incompetence. It's just a lack of understanding of how to do a strategic plan. And guys get caught up in the game aspect and they forget that logistics is part of your leadership. Logistics is part of your game. Planning ahead and having a strategic plan on how to take things from, hey, I just met you, or I opened you on the street, or met you at the bar club or wherever you're at, to next conversation. Maybe we take a walk somewhere. Maybe we sit someplace. Maybe we go to another joint. Maybe we make out. Maybe we go to a hotel room or whatever. And then maybe what happens in the hotel room, maybe we, have a drink and talk for a little bit, and that leads to making out, maybe sex. What happens the next morning? You see, it just keeps going. And it's like you guys want to have this plan in place, and you guys don't have a strategic plan. Nobody's taught you this. And most people in the pickup community, or we'll say dating coach, whatever you want to call it, space, don't really cover the stuff that well. And that's kind of what I'm doing today. What I was doing was actually doing some recording, really tightening up recording and editing the final stuff on what's called the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint. So the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint is a very short video companion document. So I got video course stuff that's down and dirty, short, 5-10 minute videos. I'm pretty wordy, as you guys know, and this is not that way. It's short, so you can use it as a reference. And then I use the military decision-making process in a format to help you guys strategically plan your dates, your going out to meet new women, pick up, all that stuff. And it sets it up using the military decision-making and planning format. Mission, basically a 5-paragraph op order, but modified so that you guys can strategically and logistically set your dates up. And what this does is it puts you in the right frame of mind so that you can lead things to the next thing. When we talk about having frame, and a lot of people don't even know what that is. You can watch some of my other videos to really get an in-depth explanation. But if you don't have frame, you don't have a relationship, and you certainly can't seduce too well unless, she drives that process if you don't have frame. And so Frame, though, requires you to be able to lead in the direction you want to go. What frame means is you can see the objective world in a certain way, and you can tailor your actions to meet your goals and meet your what you're trying to do, right? And how are you going to do that with a girl? Meet the goals that you're both trying to meet, which is hopefully seduce her. She has a great time, you have a great time, and you guys have an intimate relationship. How are you going to lead to that if you don't have frame and if you don't know where to go, right? And so what this mission plan is designed to do is teach you where to go, okay? And so we're going to teach you where to go, put you in the right direction. I'll just give you a quick sneak peek. We'll go to the share screen because I was not going to do a video today. I was working on the final stuff. Let's see here. I want to screen share it, and well, that's the Chrome tab. Let's go Windows. Let's go in. I guess we're going to go entire screen. All right, we'll share the entire screen, and then we'll do this. And we'll blow this up. That's how we'll do it. Okay, so this is just mission plan dating blueprint. Now, there's going to be videos accompanying this, but I kind of give you an outline of what it is. So, situation here. So, what I have is a way to analyze some outdoor secluded places, some outdoor public places, indoor public places, indoor private places, places of interest, locations. And so you see, you get an analysis here of places to go, what to do, who's going to be there, what kind of money you're going to need, profile of the people that are going to be there. You see, area of operation. You could put a map of the place if you want to actually be, thorough in your planning, or just know that you're going to go reference Google Maps, right, for stuff and places to go. What's the weather like? That's kind of important depending on what you're doing that evening, right? Avatars. What type of girls are they going to be there? Okay. And then competition. What type of guys are going to be there that are going to be competing for the girls that are there? Social circles. Who are you meeting up with? Avatar. That's your avatar. What are you going to wear? What are you going to do? And here's, you write a little kind of bio for yourself. And then you're going to do a cost benefit analysis for if you're picking up on potential women you're meeting. Objection handlers. So you're going to have those predetermined. Okay. And then now you got your mission. What are you doing? And so I wrote a quick, it could be anything in this case. But cold approach, cold approach attractive women, build immediate attraction, isolate one with 2 or 3 location changes leading into a same night lay. Could be a mission plan, right? Secondary would just be to exchange contact and set a later date. So then you got execution and then key tasks. And then I have a whole thing, pre-execution checklist, and then steps and stages for the process, potential narratives that you can do in conversation to bring the temperature up or bring the temperature down if she's getting, the wrong kind of vibe. Something called Ford Gift that I talk about in the Sexpionage. We'll talk about that more. We talk about that too in the pickup skills for busy man stuff, which, you can get that stuff also with Sexpionage. How break contact or location change, different location change, phases, okay? And then sustainment. How much money do you want? Cash on hand, of course, whatever. Food plan, clothing, protection, all right? Timelines. So all this stuff is there. And then I have a whole blueprint for you guys. And I'm, giving away the info here. Where's the fucking get out of there? Let's get out of there. All right. So I'm giving away all that info there for you. But I'm not really giving it away because how do you do it? And so that's what the mission plan dating blueprint is. I'm going to cover all that stuff for you. Now, you can, if you don't do any of my stuff, you can just think about it on your own and you might do all right. I mean, it's valuable. This is a valuable video, even if you don't do anything, okay, with me. And because having an idea of doing that little bit of planning beforehand is like golden. It gives you the mental framework and the emotional framework of where to go, what to do. And so with that, you can have frame. you appear and seem competent. You have contingencies for things that could go wrong. And this could be something on like a longer thing, like a weekend together or vacation, or something shorter, like I'm going to go out with some friends and maybe potentially meet a girl when I'm out. You can line it up too for follow-up texts and follow-up dates. And, give yourself a place to go. You can't lead anywhere if you don't know where you're going. And that's the point. And you can line this out. Now, the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint, you can get this for free right now. In fact, you can get the whole thing, including the video stuff, which will be on the 22nd, as it'll be available for people who are signed up for it. So you can get this stuff, that way, because this is the easiest, simplest way to really put out a thorough plan. You can do a blueprint in 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes if you're really getting into avatars and stuff, right? Like your avatar and the girls that are there. But most of the plan you can have drawn up in like 5 to 10 minutes and cover everything logistical, cover all your bases. Make sure you don't forget things. Are you bringing an overnight bag? What goes in the overnight bag? What is your contingency plan for where you're going to sleep that night if you're going out for a long night? Maybe going home is part of the plan, but maybe you're going to her house, a friend's house, a hotel. What's the plan, right? Do you have a plan in case, for those of you who drink, maybe you can't drive. Maybe you need an Uber. Okay. Maybe you have a designated driver. Like all of these things, you guys are clusterfucks when you plan your nights out. I already know because I've been out with people before and I know how they are. And it's a nightmare because people don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that's you, by the way. That's probably you. You don't know what you're doing. You're trying to coordinate everything with everybody else, and everybody's all over the place. Nobody knows what's happening, and then it's a mess. And it's just a mess. And then you don't have any frame. And now, how are you supposed to seduce a girl and seem like a competent person that she would want to sleep with when you're all over the place and flustered? I don't know where my friends went and blah, blah, blah. She doesn't know where her friends are, whatever. And everybody's freaking out. You don't know what to do next. How are you going to properly seduce somebody under those conditions? You probably are going to fail. And a lot of guys find themselves failing over funny, comical, to me anyway, but stupid reasons and stupid stuff. I see it all the time. Guys with a really good game who are dialed in on their sexual market value, they look good. They look the part. They know to talk to people, know to talk to women, and they know to be good listeners too, all that stuff. But then they fail the plan and then they lose opportunities. They screw it up. Girls get a bad impression of them, all that stuff. The Mission Plan Dating Blueprint will prevent that from happening. And it's such an easy tool to use. And I'm going to give it to you for free. All right. Now you're going to have it for free if you click the link to pre-register. If you pre-register for Sexpionage, so you're going to buy Sexpionage, that part won't be free. And if you do that before the 22nd, you'll get Pickup Skills for a Busy Man also, which is something like 30 hours. I don't remember. It might have been 40 hours of material on pickup skills and getting you really dialed in on that stuff. Plus, you'll get the Sexpionage course material, which is deep seduction stuff, what to say, how to hypnotically trigger parts of her brain on a deep level to find you attractive and to be in a mind state of desire. These are all things that you get in that course. And then you'll get this Mission Plan Blueprint for free, which will help you have your logistical strategic plan in order. If you don't do any of that stuff, at least you know that this is something you need to do. And it was good for you to come along on this video. If you go to that link, you can get at least on a free email list. When you put in like your information, you'll get my free newsletter, and I'll continue to put out more free content outside of YouTube that'll be really helpful for you. So there's that too. It's not a wash if you don't click the link. But I suggest though that you pre-register, because if you pre-register for Sexpionage, you'll get Mission Plan and you'll get the Pickup Skills for a Busy Man stuff all. You can get it for free as part of your pre-registration. If you wait till registration opens 22nd, and it's open for 5 days, and I close registration. And so that cohort for Sexpionage will be closed. More than likely, I will not offer it again this year. And those of you who are in it, we're going to have a great time. So if you wait though till the 22nd and you do a registration, it's not a pre-register. Mission plan is an extra charge, and so is pickup skills. All these courses are worth, would sell on my website for about 600 or six or $700. Mission plan, because it's shorter, probably just a couple $100. So pre-registering now gets you that stuff for free. It's not a BS grift or anything. It is free stuff for you for pre-registering and for watching my stuff and paying attention, and supporting my work. And I appreciate that. And so I give that stuff out for those who are motivated, excited, and want to learn and do some things. For those of you guys who miss it, you'll still get a good price, but I'll figure out what deal I want to cut, and I'll cut you a deal on it. But it won't be for free after the 22nd, but it's still there, and it's very, very valuable. This whole mission plan thing, though, I'm really excited about that because it solves a lot of problems. When I'm coaching guys on this stuff, I'll get into the fine details of seduction, what to text, what to say, all that kind of stuff. And they'll get really good at it. They'll be working on that. And then they'll oftentimes miss the bigger picture and logistics. And I'll always have to point them back to it. Here's kind of what tends to happen to guys. They're going from, either no results or very opportunistic results at first. Then they come in and they start training with me. So they start training and coaching with me. Then they start getting results, but it's kind of like a big clusterfuck. It's all over. They get girls to give out their numbers. They get girls to text them back, and they'll go on dates, and, but they're just kind of all over the place. They're not having romantic relationships happen seamlessly like they want. It's like the girls will show up, they're there, they ghost. They'll have really good conversation experience, but then something will happen, and then you won't hear from the girl, and then she'll crop up later. They'll go on a bunch of dates, but those dates don't end up in the bedroom. They don't end up in a romantic framework. She ends up kind of friend zoning them. It's just this whole cluster. And it's because the guy is learning these skills, but he doesn't know how to go from A to B to C, from a first meet up to hanging out to a romantic relationship, we'll call it. He doesn't know how to take it there. He doesn't have a lot of experience there. And so he's trying to figure that out. The times that it's happened for him has been on accident almost. Most guys get laid on accident, really. They get laid in spite of themselves because they'll do so many things wrong to anti-seductive that give girls the ick, but girls will end up going with them, right? Or the girl is such low SMV that she would say yes to him, but really girls of a higher caliber are no across the board because he just fumbles and does all these things wrong. And so a guy starts learning stuff, but he doesn't know how to go from A to B yet to C, if you will, in my example. He doesn't know how to go through that process. But then it happens, right? He just keeps trial and erroring through it, and eventually he gets it. And then he gets it a couple more times, and then that gives him a mental framework now to go on. Now he has frame. Because now he knows, oh, okay, here's how it goes. And even though each thing happened a little bit different, I see the similarities enough of what happens when two people like each other and decide to sleep with each other, and what that feels like being on the receiving end and on the leading end of it. I see where that's at now. I've seen it a couple of times. I now can replicate this, and then the guy starts getting more results, better results, finally, with better women, and gets in a relationship and all the stuff he wants, right? But he has this period of trial and error. And what we can do is we can take that period of trial and error and screwing up and blowing your chances with really good girls. We can narrow that down to almost nothing with the mission plan dating blueprint. We can narrow that down because I'll allow you to develop your own framework and give you examples of a framework so you see what right looks like, and then you can go out and execute your mission of seduction, if you will, and having good romantic relationships, good sexual relationships. You can go have that because now you know what that looks like. You know how it should go, where it should go, timelines, everything. And so you replicate that. You can make that happen now without having to learn a bunch of pickup skills, learn some social skills, and then haphazardly go through trial and error. You know what I mean? And so I noticed with guys that I would coach or guys that would take other people's courses and they were, not getting exactly the results they'd want, they come to me. A lot of times what I had to keep pointing them to is this logistical thing. And then I was like noticing, well, they really don't know though, because they haven't done this a lot. They're not good at it yet. So they don't know how to do this. They don't know what I'm talking about. So I have to really spell it out for them. And so the Mission Plan Dating Blueprint does that for you. Now, if you don't have that, you don't do anything from me, that's okay. Just start thinking about these things and how to logistically set yourself up and do a little bit of planning. Use your little brain that you got rattling around up there. It's going to do you wonders. And if you're in a relationship and if you've gotten complacent and you don't plan stuff with your girl, well, you can change that. All right. But if you want some more help with that and you want to do it in an expert way, do it at the highest level, that's what my stuff is for. So go ahead and click that link and at least get on my mailing list or my email list or whatever, get the free stuff. But go click that link, apexmindset.org, and it'll take you to the pre-registration. See if it's for you. Pre-register for Sexpionage. Do it before the 22nd. You'll get this dating blueprint on the 22nd. And you'll also will get Pickup Skills for a Busy Man. Pickup Skills for a Busy Man was a course. I think it was like $600 when I ran it last. So, I mean, it's worth it. You'll get that stuff for free, and then you'll be in Sexpionage. And then, you know what? You want to get Sexpionage for free too. Then maybe set up an interview and look into working with me for a year in my mastermind group. If you're working with me for a year in my mastermind group, any of these other courses are just par for the course. You get them all because we're going to work through them together and really get your skills dialed in. So that's it. Catch you guys next time.